I fight for a brighter tomorrow.
Hello, my name is Mr. Cottonman, and today I will be bringing you guys a new series whereby it will have information on champions that you may consider buying with either IP or RP. Throughout the video, I'll be going over the strength, weaknesses, and personally how he feels to me, and also I'll be giving you guys champions that are quite similar to the feel of the champion and how his skills work. If there's anything I need to change, add, or just stay the same, let me know in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get started. So at level 1, Jayce and many other champions are given their ultimate ability, whereby it will be a stance changing ability where it will make you go from either melee to ranged or ranged to melee. And for Jayce, upon stance changing, you will receive additional effect the next time you auto attack. So when you change into the ranged form, you will have your next auto attack reduce the enemy's armor and magic resist by 10% for 5 seconds. And you can know when that is applied by a blue thundering strike going on to your enemy. So in his ranged form, his Q ability is called Shock Blast, and it fires an orb in front of you that deals damage upon hitting a target, and also dealing AoE damage. Now, Shock Blast can also be amplified by your E ability, which is Acceleration Gate, to give the Shock Blast more range, bigger blast radius, and more damage based off of percentage. His W ability in his ranged form is called Hypercharge. This makes your next 3 auto attacks deal maximum attack speed, which is 2.5, and it will deal lower amount of damage with lower ranks, but as you increase the skill rank, it will get higher than your normal auto attacks. His third ability in his ranged form is called Acceleration Gate, which is his E. You can place the field on the ground and you can run through it to give you increased movement speed over 3 seconds. You can also have this movement speed be granted to your allies, as you can place it down in front of you or to the side and have them run through it as well. When you use this ability to go into melee ranged, you gain additional armor and magic resist, as well as your next auto attack dealing more magic damage. All of these factors scale with more points into the skill. When in his melee form, his Q changes into To the Skies. This is a leap attack that can go onto enemies, dealing some physical damage and giving a slowing area beneath them for 2 seconds. This ability can also be used to go over walls. In his melee form, his W turns into Lightning Field. It has a passive effect that allows you to auto attack and gain mana back, and the active effect creates a AoE ability that deals damage over time, which can be used on the move. In his melee form, his E turns into Thundering Blow, which knocks an enemy or champion back a set distance, as well as dealing a percentage of the enemy's max health. Lastly, his passive is Hextech Capacitor. Each time he uses his transform ability, which is his ultimate, he gains additional movement speed and is allowed to move through units for the duration of the move speed bonus. The next small clip will showcase a certain combination that you can do with Jayce, as his entire kit is revolved around you stance changing and using your abilities within unison. Overall, Jayce is a nimble fighter that can constantly change stances to better suit the situation that is present to him. A couple of champions that will be similar to his playstyle is Elise and Italy, and these champions have the same sort of kit where you go from a ranged form into a melee form and switch back and vice versa, and also at the same time comboing your spells to get the most amount of damage possible within a certain fight, a certain engagement, and overall make use of the champion as best as you can. The next couple clips that I'll be playing are just different videos that will be showcasing how he plays within a match, both the strengths and the weaknesses of Jayce. So let's get started. Alright, first up I want to talk about Jayce's strengths. One strength that he has is he's able to farm from far away when he's either behind or enemy champions are nearby by using his EQ combo in ranged form. There will be situations where you need to keep up in CS and gold count with your lane opponent, and the best way to safely do this, whether or not you have a ward, is to use your EQ combo. That way you don't get too far behind. Another good thing about Jayce is that he's able to escape from most ganks due to his mobility and utility from spells in both of his forms. Another good thing that he has going for him is his ability to assist with kills from far away, thanks again to his EQ combo and ranged form. Sometimes you can't immediately jump into a fight whether you're low or the situation just doesn't call for it, and by EQ comboing the person, it can soften them up and grant you a kill. Another good thing that Jayce has is his great base damage through his abilities, so take use of those. Lastly, his E at max rank is a free Shirelius to your team and is something that you should never pass up. Next up are Jayce's weaknesses. As a top laner, since he doesn't have any natural sustain, he's already at risk of having a difficult time to those that do have it, just because they can bully him out of lane, or they can bully him enough to where he actually gets killed. Another thing that Jayce has as a weakness is if you're able to stick onto him and his abilities are on cooldown, you will have a hard time escaping, and if you don't have flash, most chances if they have enough damage to kill you, you will die. Another thing you should always take note is even though you do have great base damage as Jayce and you do scale really well with items, you should never be too cocky with how much damage you think you can do, because even if you jump into people, you still have to realize if you build Jayce to maximize his damage potential through his spells, you will be very squishy and you will die very quickly. Overall, Jayce is really fun to play, and personally for me, he's one of my go-to top laners, as I simply like the fact that I can spam his abilities and do these cool combinations of spells to either whittle people down or get kills, and also have the need to feel like I'm doing something in the match, and that is satisfied by me constantly using my spells. And if you have that same kind of feeling, or wanting that same kind of feeling, you'll definitely like Jayce. And you'll definitely also want to give Nidalee and Elise a try, as they're kind of the same kit, but at the same time they are the same kit. And they work in the same way, where you deal damage in your ranged form, and then you go into your melee form to deal even more damage as a combination. So if there's anything I need to do to improve on, anything that I needed to add, or if everything's fine and you would like to see the series go, or even if you want to recommend me a series that I can do that you will actually watch, let me know in the comments below. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next time.